Hello and welcome back to the Métropole Grid. My name is Andrej.
I'm Benoit.
I'm Patrick.
And thanks so much for tuning in. So tonight we are once again at the Randolph Boutique here in Montreal, and there's a new data pack on the shelves.
Yeah?
Oh, what a coincidence.
Yeah, so this is the third data pack of the cycle of the Mumbad Cycle.
Yep.
This one is called Democracy and Dogma. It should be covering those two ideas, I suppose.
Yeah, it's a 2-in-1.
Shall we just jump into it?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
So we're going to start with, there's actually an ID in this pack. I think all data packs do come with an ID. And today we have a criminal ID. So we have here Nero Severn. He's an information broker. He's a natural, and his ability reads, once per turn, you may jack out when you encounter a sentry. He is 45-15 and importantly has one link.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good card? Good card? Bad card? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't like those binaries so much.
Medium card?
Medium card. Okay. So I think this follows the series that so far every faction has had an identity that deals with a certain subtype of ice.
Yeah, the ice that faction is already best at dealing with.
Yeah, exactly, which is kind of interesting that they're giving you an ability to deal with something that they can already deal with reasonably.
Yeah.
So
But people love Kit,
Kit is cool.
and Quetzal does well sometimes.
Quetzal, I think, is also really cool. I used to play a lot of Quetzal. But now we have Nero. And Nero has the ability, which basically reads, hit something real bad with your face, and you walk away with it, and you look cool.
Just
Yeah,
like
I mean,
one
he
more
looks very
fairy.
cool.
Yes, it's like a permanent fairy.
Yep.
But you don't break.
He does look very cool. He's got a monocle. Like,
Yeah, it's a
I
monocle.
usually don't like monocles, but that looks
Yeah.
great.
No, he pulls it off.
It seems like a console, I think.
Yeah, it
Might
is.
be.
So he's an information broker.
Yeah.
So he's selling information.
Yeah.
Buying and
So
selling
he
information.
knows sentries are somewhere,
Yes.
and he sells that information. So he might jack
Sure,
out. So he
yeah.
knows things.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
there's,
okay.
I think, a pretty underdeveloped game mechanic in Criminal, which is meant to be they're part of the information game. They have cards like Snitch. They have cards like Forged Acceleration. Forged
Forged
Activation.
activation orders. And they've got their enhanced vision and their executive wiretaps.
High risk job. High stakes job.
High-
The high stakes, I think, is what it's called.
Okay.
And so the idea is if you know what ice is where, you can. That's very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I think the best way to keep the corp dry as the criminal. I've always played super aggressive criminal, and you just poke somewhere.
Yeah.
You just force them to res ice to protect their servers.
This lets you poke with relative safety. You don't
Yeah.
have to have your fairy out.
Exactly.
You can do it without your fairy,
Yeah.
and you're safe.
Yeah. So that's kind of really cool.
Install the Desperado maybe and just run somewhere.
Yep.
And if it's a sentry, they res it, you just check out. It's not that bad.
Yeah, not so bad.
So a card that makes you jack out is really interesting. I
Yeah.
think there's only 2 or 3 cards in Netrunner that actually say you can jack out.
Yeah.
And there's also cards that exist that say when you jack out, something good is going to happen.
Yep.
And I think it's really easy to look at this card and think I'm going to make a deck that has a whole bunch of jack out effects.
Yeah.
And I'm not that sold on that idea. On the basis that you have to hit a sentry, you have to jack out. So if the sentry is in the outermost ice, you can only do that once per turn.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not once per run. That's a bit disappointing.
And we had Au revoir for a while now.
Exactly.
Au revoir is good credit, but at the same time, you need to have a way to jack out if there's ice.
Yes.
Because you have to encounter the first ice.
Yep.
If you run somewhere without ice, you could jack out, but that doesn't help you do that. The new ID doesn't help you do that.
Yeah, he does have a console, which we'll get to in a second, which does
Yep.
make jacking out even better. One thing I just want to talk about real quick is that almost all the criminals that have come out recently, or at least Geist, I've been playing a lot of Geist, have one link.
Yep.
And one link is huge for...
Well, they're giving more support to the Cloud Breakers
Yes.
and what 2-link can do for a person.
Yeah.
For sure.
So 2-link is a big deal for criminals. You
Yep.
can play the Break and Enter suite.
Yeah.
I haven't tried so much of the Break and Enter suite outside of Geist, so I'm not sure what that actually can do.
But it lets
You could also play the Cloud Breakers of
Sunny's
Sunny.
Breakers.
Sunny.
Uh,
Sunny
the
Breakers
shaper
are
ones.
very good.
They're good. They're expensive, but they're good.
Yeah, once on the table.
Zoo's good.
Yeah.
Zoo's a good card.
For sure.
And the idea is that if you have all your breakers in the cloud, this
Yeah.
gives you room to install Snitch and Au revoir and all this
Because
other
normally criminals wouldn't have the spare MU.
stuff. Yeah.
But with that, they would. They can install 3 Au revoirs and 1 snitch or whatever they're going to do.
It's cool. You can also just play Underworld Contacts. Link is good.
Yeah.
A lot of
So
nice
how do you
interfaces.
get to 2 links?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the console.
Let's.
So Reflection is a console hardware in Criminal. Costs 2 to install. Gives you 1 MU and 1 link. It says whenever you jack out, the court reveals 1 card from HQ at random. Random is pretty important.
Sure.
So just shuffle that HQ and access 1 card. Of course, as most all console, it's limit 1 per player.
Cool.
So this is not that bad
This is good.
for 2 credits.
It's very efficient.
Yeah, it is. Even like without the ability, it's two credits for 1 MU and 1 link.
So
good.
the comparison was Dice and Memchip,
Yeah.
which is a neutral card, which is 1 MU, 1 link, and that's 3 credits.
3 credits.
It
not
doesn't
unique.
come with a bonus ability.
But but this is better than
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Of
yeah,
course.
true, yeah.
And I've been putting Dice and Memchips in decks recently.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
And I would totally put this as a console in Geist.
And it also fits the information broker.
This is the beginning of the
Absolutely.
information
You-
broker.
yep.
I do like that.
So you see 1 card.
So the idea is, okay, you can play Criminal and you can play Desperado, you can play Security Testing. And now you're saying, if I make a run on the server and I make a successful run, I don't access, but I gain 3 credits.
Yeah, once you have Au revoir up and running.
Yeah. Well, no, that's just like in Andy or whatever if you're not
Okay,
doing
sure.
it. But say that's the idea is let's say that you play 2 au revoirs, 1 au revoir, and you play Reflection. And now you're saying I'm going to run on a server that's not protected or something with a sentry or if you're playing Snitch, anything that has unres dice.
Yeah.
And you can basically make 2 credits and see a card from HQ.
And seeing a card from HQ can be very powerful.
Yeah.
It can be really important.
Of course.
Right. We do have a resource that allows that on successful runs, but this
Yeah.
allows it on unsuccessful runs. So we have a package that rewards non-successful running in Criminal, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's really
And
interesting.
having a successful run is also good. So if they deny you the successful run, whatever you see, now you see something, even if if the run is not successful.
It can't
which is
just
nice.
only be unsuccessful as much as you have to jack out. But running a server without protected, without any ice, you can choose not to access archives, remotes.
course.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
That's a fine ability. Could this replace Desperado even in Andy, getting
We'll
it up
see.
to 2 link? It
The
might.
influence is nice, not
Yeah.
having to pay influence as
And like
you
we
are
mentioned,
with
getting up to
Desperado.
2 link sets up a certain kind of economy engine that might replace Desperado for the right kind
It's
of
a good econ engine. Also, knowing what's in HQ is great. You can choose when to legwork intelligently. You can choose when to sneak door intelligently.
choose
and
when to
that's,
CBI.
that's a big deal. Yeah, that too. That's a big deal.
You know, we didn't actually mention that My Goose is his icebreaker. Like, going back to Nero, if he's going to jack out sometimes when he hits a sentry, having his icebreaker only work on a certain number of sentries per turn, that's a really nice combination.
Yeah, that's true. You hit 1 sentry, you keep going, and then you hit a
If you
second
hit another
sentry,
one-
bail.
Yeah, your Mongoose doesn't have its downside anymore.
Yeah, it's true. I guess on that note too, I think one thing that you could do as we agreed. No, well, never mind. Is the Faust idea?
Yeah.
Is that if you hit a swordsman or Komeino, the 2 cards that Faust really doesn't want to see,
Yep,
you
right.
can just run away.
Just get out of it.
Which is a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
Wait until you get your fairy or something to get you past it.
Yeah.
Or your Mongoose, whatever.
Come
you
back
do.
later.
Here we go. Next up, we have a criminal hardware. It's a spy camera. It costs 0 to install. It's consumer grade. It says, quick, look at the top X cards of your stack and arrange them in any order. X is the number of copies of spy camera installed. And then trash, look at the top card of R&D. And like the other consumer grade hardware, you can have 6 per deck. It's 1 influence.
Cool.
Yeah, I like the ability to rearrange what's on the top of your stack.
Yeah.
That can be pretty cool.
That's a criminal thing, right?
It's kind of a criminal thing.
Yeah.
That can set up things like Oracle May.
Yeah.
You look at what's going to be there, and then you draw a card. It's somewhat efficient, except you did install 2 cards to get there.
That's true.
More than 2 cards, because you probably have multiple spy cameras. But unlike the other consumer grade hardware, this one has a secondary ability that I think is also quite powerful. Being able to just look at the top card of R&D whenever you want.
Yeah.
Combined with Nero, for example,
Yeah.
you hit a nasty sentry. Maybe you want to see what's at the top of R&D to see if getting through that sentry is even worth it.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
or
I like that.
Yeah.
Or in Geist. That's
Or in
the
Geist, you
most
get to drop
obvious
it.
thing because it's trash. So you
This is good in
gain something.
Geist.
It's great
in
in Geist
Geist. It's
'cause
great. I mean,
In Geist, you can know what you're going to draw, which is nice, and then you can choose to draw that card whenever you want.
Yeah.
That's a really powerful ability. We also talked about this being good in Leela, because
Yeah.
knowing what's the top card of R&D in Leela is
you're right.
so crucial sometimes.
Yeah, they install advance. You say, I need to get an agenda, because that basically
Yeah.
wastes
Yeah,
the turn.
the drawback is that when you trash it, it's gone.
Yeah.
So if the thing you looked at was not
Sure.
a good information, it's still information.
It's still information.
But it's
That's valuable in its own way. Actually, you know, I think the other Reflection might be good in Leela too. Just having information about where agendas
course.
might be.
for sure.
That's a big
so
deal.
Crucial.
Yeah.
So crucial.
I could see somebody putting 3 of these in a deck, not only 6.
Technical
Just
writer guys.
Technical
maybe?
writer is good,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
You gain credit when you install it on
And
technical
you play tech
writer.
traders, so you draw
Yeah,
cards. You
yeah,
make money.
I would do-
That's-
I would do
that's
3 or
quite a
4.
Draw
way.
card, look at the top card of R&D, know if it's worth to go in,
Yeah.
and then just draw 1 card.
Once you have a couple of these
And
out,
gain
it's
a credit?
basically an express delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
useful.
There's a similar card in Sunny, which says you can choose to lose a click at the beginning of your turn. If you do, see the top card of the R&D. And that has a caveat involving Link, but this is a simpler way to do that. And I really like that card, specifically against Glacier decks. If it costs like 8 credits to get into R&D, you want to know if it's worth it.
You don't just want to do it whenever.
Yeah, but also against things like PE, you'll never hit snares. You can really get away with some of these things where it's like, oh, there's a trap on top of R&D.
Yeah.
Maybe don't run right now. And that's neat. True. There's a tempo hit, so maybe replicate these out. Maybe play in Haley. I don't know. You can get a lot of these out fast in Haley.
Yeah,
They do cost 0. That's nice.
Yeah.
But the most obvious is for me is Geist.
Yeah, Geist is
Because
good.
you replace it with something else after you used it, which is nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Next.
So we have a card that has been talked about for a long time now. We even have there's an envelope of alt art cards already. You can get an alternate art political operative.
Yeah.
That's what this card is. This is political operative.
Yeah.
For 1 credit, you can have this connection resource, and it says install only if you made a successful run on HQ this turn. Criminal thing.
Easy to do.
And you can trash this card and pay the trash cost of a res card, and you can trash that card.
So making a successful run on HQ is easier if you have Sneak Door. But it's not undoable in any fashion.
Yeah,
can play
anyone
Feint.
can do it.
It costs 1 influence. So
One influence is a
this
big
is going to
deal.
go
It's
everywhere.
going to go in a lot of decks.
Okay.
Everywhere.
It's going to go in a lot of decks because it trashes Caprices for 1 before
good.
they're a problem. It trashes Ash for 3 before it's a problem.
All right, so let's talk about
Timing.
timing sequence.
Yeah.
Let's talk about timing.
It is
Yes!
pretty easy, but it's still important. So you trash it, so it has to be on your time to do it.
Yeah, your
trashing
action window.
abilities.
Yes,
so
it is a paid ability.
Exactly. So since it's a paid ability, it means that if they res something and use it right away, there's no window for you to do something.
You're talking about the Marcus Baddies.
yeah,
the
Marcus
Jackson
Batty,
Howards, the
or
Keegan
even
Lanes,
score
so-
an agenda out of Sansan.
Right.
Sansan will get rezzed, and you can use it, and then you can deal with it later. Cyberdex Fire Suite, Jackson Howard, Lakshmi Smart Fabrics.
Well, Jackson Howard, there's 2 different things.
Yes.
If they res to trash and reshuffle,
They can get away with
they
that.
can get away with that. But if
res
they
and then
res
click, well, you have to say, before you click,
before
I
you
might
click,
use this card.
I'm going to trash Jackson.
Yeah.
So this works. Caprice is different because during your run, they res Caprice before you pass the next piece of ice, the last piece of ice.
Yeah.
So you do have a timing window to use that card before something else happens.
yeah.
Same thing goes with Ash.
Ash, yeah. Because they res it, you can react to the res before you
Yep,
get Ash.
exactly.
There's an interesting window for all the upgrades that remain effective until the end of the run.
Yeah, your red herrings, your old Hollywood grid.
Yeah, Strongbox too.
Strongbox, I think.
So the idea is that if you make a run, they res it during the run, and you can political operative it, but the effect is still going to last, which is cool. Same for Lakshmi. You can get rid of the Lakshmi, but it's still going to matter for that turn.
Yep.
The Corp can still protect their assets and stuff by using cards like Hostile Infrastructure,
Yeah.
right? And what's the HB one? Ronald 5?
Yeah.
And of course, IG will frustrate this a little bit, but
like,
there are
this
ways
could-
around IG.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
You can play Employee Strike just to have the identity text blank
'Cause
and
that's
then use it.
Yeah, because just like Product Recall, this card has the trash cost. I don't think it's a printed trash cost. It's a modified trash cost too.
Yeah.
So if you have something like Industrial Genomics or Oaktown Grid,
Encryption protocol.
the encryption protocol, that will mess with this card.
Yeah. Also good to note, connection.
Connection
Criminal
something.
connection. Nice.
But like,
Calling in favors and off-campus apartments.
off campus, I've been playing off campus.
Hostage.
Yeah, hostage. Actually.
And it's a trash. So, guys.
guys.
Well, one last thing. You
Yep.
can also, if you're not worried about the defensive upgrades, you can use the trash economy. Like, just when they think they're
Yeah, of
fine to
course.
use it, they don't even get any credits off their Adonis.
They don't.
Because they trash at the end of your turn.
They res it at the end of your turn.
You trash it before they get any credits off it.
Once
Also-
this is on the table, it changed the whole game.
Yeah, and
This is a big deal.
And
This is
RP
a really big deal.
RP used to be able to rely on Sundew.
Yep.
Sundew
No
being
anymore.
free. It's not free anymore. They pay
2
2,
credit.
it's gone.
Yeah. So the interesting part, so this is one of those cards that adds an absurd amount of utility to the game that didn't
Yep.
exist before. But I really, really like because it's a really high skill cap card.
It really
Yeah.
is.
Understanding when to make a sub par
sure.
HQ run
Yeah.
just to get this down on the table,
And the
knowing
corp
when to
baiting
use
you
it.
To use it, maybe.
Yeah. Like this is like Jackson Howard. This is super interesting.
Yeah, you need to make a run on HQ and then have clicks left
Yes,
to install
to
it.
put it down,
So,
to do
but
something like that.
at the same time, it's not instead of accessing cards.
No,
so you can
that's
still
good.
like legwork, see
Yeah.
cards, and then play it.
Yes.
if you don't hit the snare for some reason.
Yeah, sure.
But it's really good. It's one. I'm really glad that it's in criminal because right now we don't see that many criminals.
No, but that's the thing is, with
And
one
it's a blue
influence,
card,
I
one
think you can
influence
see
for
it
everyone.
everywhere.
Yeah.
You're right to call it the Jackson House. It is a Jackson.
It is the Jackson.
Because everyone else is going to import it, and then the criminals are going to get stronger because
Yep.
they have this powerful
I agree.
card in faction.
The game changes. You have to play around this
Yep.
card. You really do.
Marcus Batty is still something.
Marcus Batty is scary
You
for
don't
criminals.
have for now. You don't have any answer.
Yes.
For now.
For
For
now.
now.
Oh, all right.
Cool.
Good card.
Big deal.
Cool card.
Big deal.
Already alternate art as well.
That's
in the
like
next winter kit.
FFG knows.
They know.
Yeah, they know.
They know.
Good for them.
Caprice is everywhere. All right, next.
Exactly. Sure.
Am I next?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
Next.
Political graffiti. Zero cost event, anarch event. It's a run. It says make a run on archives. If successful, instead of accessing cards, add political graffiti to an agenda in the corpse core area as a hosted condition counter with the text. This agenda is worth -1 agenda point. Trash political graffiti if the core purges virus counters.
And it's a whopping 3 influence.
It is
Yeah,
expensive.
that's a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is a card that you use when you think the corp is about to win next turn, and you want to have one more turn of safety,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Only
Or
if
you're
the
just running
point-
archives.
Or you just feel
Only-
like running archives.
Yeah.
Only if they would have won with like exactly 7 points.
Yes.
Doesn't work if they're like
Yes,
at
that's a good
6
point.
and they're gonna score a 2 point.
Yeah.
Also, it's not gonna work against most fast advance because they
might have
probably play
CVS.
CVS.
Of course.
So they will purge to
Yeah.
score agendas.
I certainly wouldn't play this when I had any other viruses, because I only want
Yeah,
the purging
Clot
when I
or-
play this. Yeah.
but
the
it's
problem.
red with 3 influence. You're not gonna play an arc with no virus.
Right.
Because okay, this is the problem with all these when purge get rid of them cards is that they're super good when you play a whole bunch of them. Like multiple lampreys is a big deal. Lamprey and an exotic eye, that's great. That's a really good thing to do.
Yeah.
But like playing 3 political graffitis, giving -3 agenda points is awesome. But then they purge and
Potentially
And,
awesome.
and win.
waste. It's a waste. Yeah, they win. So I don't know. When I originally read this card, I thought it just adds the card to the score area as an agenda worth -1.
That
And
would
then
be-
that opens this weird design space where you can now have cards to be like
They can
gain
use
credits.
their archer to...
Yeah, they could forfeit
Right?
it.
Yeah.
But then they could gain credits. Like you could play a card that says gain credits based on how many cards in the runner score area or
Oh,
corpse
interesting.
score
A
area.
corpse score area.
And
Yeah, I
things
like
like that. But this doesn't do that, and I'm a bit upset.
Maybe there will... No, it would be a hosted condition counter, not a card.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I don't get it. I just don't.
We'll see. Maybe
'Cause-
something else is gonna.
Yeah. Okay, so the only really positive thing about this card is that it is the easiest way, I think, to make a run on archives and not access. So that flips cards over, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So things against
IG,
industrial genomics, everything gets flipped
Yeah.
over. You can see if there's a CVS in archives.
Yeah.
You can. It's a replacement effect, which on its
Yeah.
own is a decent thing to do.
Yeah.
If you can recur this somehow and play it every turn,
Same old thing.
yeah, right. That could be
Yeah.
annoying, but I don't know. Not sure what you can do with it. I have no doubt something is going to come with this. Something
we'll
down the
see.
line that matters if the corp has agendas.
They've been getting better about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If not, it's just a card in your binder.
Just a card.
Hey, maybe it's gonna make a comeback sometime.
Speaking
Cool.
of cards that will get better later,
Yeah.
Oh,
we have Satyojata or Satyoyata. It's a shaper program. It costs 4 to put out. It's 1 MU. It's an icebreaker and an AI and a Deva. It's 2 strength. It says 1 credit, break ice subroutine on a piece of ice with 3 or more subtypes. 1 credit plus 1 strength. And then 2 credits, swap Satyoyata with a Deva program from your grip. It is the creator.
2 influence.
2 influence.
So from what we understand, Deva is a subtype, and there's
Yep.
going to be at least, I'm assuming 3 of them. There might be a neutral one.
maybe.
And we've seen the Anarch one. It's
Yeah,
cool.
spoiled.
But so the idea is that you can have these on the table and you swap them. Whenever you think, oh, this one is technically better at this point, the
Yeah.
2 credit swap cost
Yeah.
balances out. And then let's go.
Yeah.
You have all these breakers in hand, let's do it.
It's important
1
to remember
credit
this-
to swap would have been nice.
Yeah.
but
Sure.
Maybe
Yeah.
too powerful. It's more to
Maybe.
remember swapping isn't installing.
Yeah.
You aren't going to get technical writer credit.
Nope.
You're not going to get like Haley
Anything.
extra quick. Or
I
anything
think
like
also
that.
you have to swap it onto the same place that it was.
Yes. Now, the other
That's
thing-
why swap is a new word.
It's a new
not
keyword
like-
in this game.
You won't be able to install in Sherazade.
Yeah, you don't get
or-
Sharin credits, exactly.
the other thing that does is like if you're relying on Devas, which you might be, we don't know if you will. You can free up a lot of influence, a lot of MU.
MU.
Because you'd only be using 1 MU at a time. If you're
Yes.
just swapping it, you always it's only one slot on the
Yeah.
MU that's being used.
Yeah.
That could be it. Nice.
So you could make technically a run with only one breaker on the table
Exactly.
and then break anything.
So that's also using an ability on a card. So any card like multi-threader, or that's
Oh, that's true.
what's that Omni Drive?
OmniDrive?
That gives you credit to use for a program. You can
yeah.
basically make the swap
It saves
for one.
MU and it gives you credit. That's interesting.
That's a thing.
I haven't seen OmniDrive in forever.
So let's just talk about the breaker, I guess.
Yes.
So we have one. Okay, so on its own, let's just talk about the breaker, right? So 1 credit for 1 strength.
Yeah, that's nice.
One
two,
credit for
two
sub.
strength, it's fine.
Yeah.
2 strength.
This
good.
is corroder.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is what corroder is. It costs a bit more to expend, but this is basically corroder that can break a certain subpool of ice.
Yeah, so let's talk about that subpool.
Yes.
Well, we looked at this and we came about 36 pieces of ice that have 3 or more subtypes on them.
They're currently,
Currently, yeah.
just on their own.
Yeah, and that includes a lot of bioroids, a lot of tracers.
A lot of scary stuff.
Some scary stuff. A lot of psi ice.
Because anything that has like tracer on it usually has 1 or 2 other things.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that has AP and destroyer, like the stuff that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to face check,
Yeah.
this covers that.
Yeah.
Because everything has
Rainbow.
Yeah.
Orion, all that
Nice.
stuff on
Astral Ice? No. Yeah.
only
only Orion.
Only Orion.
Yeah,
But it messes with a lot of bioroids.
36 is a
Bioroids.
lot of ice.
Yeah. And then I think the card that's meant to work with is Pancatantra, which adds a subtype, a random subtype that doesn't have any other effect on the game normally. I mean, you could have.
Well, you
tracer.
could, yeah.
But let's say you add pineapple to a piece of ice, and
Yeah.
suddenly that two subtype ice has 3 subtypes.
Is it only once per run?
Pancatantra is once per turn.
Once per turn.
Turn.
Okay, so it would only trigger on 1 ice.
Sure.
Yeah, but then that opens up the amount of ice that this is effective against.
Of course.
80 something, which is
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
More
like
than-
84 ice.
Like
with
Eli's
exactly.
or anything, actually.
Yeah,
Most
exactly.
things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it increases that number to more than half of all the ice in the game. That could be powerful.
Maybe,
Yeah.
yeah.
It could be powerful.
So the main question is, how much ice in your meta are you running into that you'd rather deal with a corroder? It's just much better for your deck to deal with it with corroder stats. And yeah, corroder stats are the baseline for a long time. Corroder was that's how we dealt with barriers. Like,
Yeah,
it costs 2 to corroder. That's how good the ice is.
Yeah.
And bringing things down to eater or corroder type numbers, that's good.
Yeah, it is.
It's quite alright.
Well, what I like about the idea of this card is that it suggests to me a meta might arrive where certain runners run with a rig that has nothing to do with killers and decoders and fractors. They have a completely separate set of icebreakers that react to very different subtypes. And like the Devas might be part of that. Gingerbread made a brief comeback with Pancatantra, adding Tracer to all these different
Yes.
ice. I wonder, maybe
Sometimes.
the usual the triumvirate that's existed for so long is maybe on its way out, or at least maybe it's going to be pushed to the side a little bit by whatever the Devas represent.
Or it is already with Faust a little bit.
Because I remember when Admin came out, I started looking at my decks and thinking like, oh, I have way too much 4-strength ice.
Yes.
And that changed
Yeah,
the
exactly.
game.
Yeah, of course.
And could it happen at some point now where we're looking at this dev and thinking, oh, this is too much of my ice has 3
Oh, man.
subtypes.
Also
on it.
depending on
Should I
the
take out
other
my
Deva.
Heimdalls and
Sorry?
Also depending on the rest of the Deva that are coming
exactly.
out.
Yeah.
Because the swap ability is really good.
Yeah.
Seems okay. Yeah, swap saves a credit.
Swap saves you a click.
I mean, yeah. That's a good deal.
Yeah,
Yep.
that could be cool.
Cool.
All right.
So we now hit the neutral part of the runner side. And this starts with freedom through equality. It's surrounded in quotes.
Freedom.
Which is good because Snare has an exclamation mark. So this is 3 credits. It's a current event, so it has the normal current subtext. It stays there until an agenda goes through. And it says, when you steal an agenda, add freedom through equality to your score area as an agenda worth 1 agenda point. No influence.
I really like it.
That's good.
That's pretty cool.
I think it. I mean, some corp are playing currents, so this is also good to just trash a current.
Yeah, and
3 credits to trash a current is the most expensive way.
Exactly, it's not the best.
No.
But
So I'm not going to pay this unless the current is like really keeping me down.
yeah, but
Yeah.
you're gonna pay it because the ability is really good.
ability
Ability's
to score
good.
almost
As
anywhere.
soon as you steal an agenda, which is hard against a lot of corp,
Yeah.
you're gonna score 1 more point.
So
Still global food.
global food becomes a 3-pointer.
Hey! Global food.
So
Yeah.
if they were relying on the fact that you needed to score 3 agenda or one more than they would,
Yeah.
like 4 agenda, and they only need 3.
'Cause-
with this, you just have one more.
It equalizes things a little
Exactly.
bit. That's nice.
So there's only one other card in Netrunner that basically says on the runner's terms get an agenda point, and that is notoriety.
Yeah.
And there's been a big argument for notoriety for a while, and especially when our meta had involved a lot of food codes. This kind of HB deck that runs mostly 2-pointers, all 2-pointers, and then food, a global food initiative.
Yep.
And the idea with that deck is that the corp can just score 2 2-pointers and then 1 global food, and that's 7.
Yeah.
On the other side, the runner has to score 4 agendas out of like the 9 in the deck.
Yeah.
so hard.
But getting
Which is-
1 bonus point
It's a
puts you to 7.
big deal.
It's even worse against Future Perfect, global food medical thing.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
that's a very mean deck.
Harmony Medtech?
we don't like to talk about
Ooh,
that deck.
that's rough.
Yeah, that's true.
Armini mean tech.
The only difference between this and notoriety is the cool part about notoriety is you could sit back and think, I just got to make 3 successful runs and I'll win my game. But with this one, you still have to get an agenda. So this seems like the kind of thing you want to play early.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing you want to play when you know you're going to have a big turn, a big Maker's Eye plus RDI turn.
Yeah.
Or just the turn where you can access HQ and then you
Wait.
force them to res ice.
Do you remember this card where you can see the top of R&D?
Yeah.
You look
point.
at the top of the R&D and
Good
then you
point.
choose to play Freedom and then you
Yeah.
go. Or you play
I
that
think Freedom's great.
the Sunny's thing that lets you see the top of R&D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you key... Okay.
Or if there's a lot of what's the NBN ID where you can only steal 1 agenda per turn,
Harpsichord.
they're gonna let you steal 1. If you play this, you steal
That's a
2
good point.
points.
Yeah, you are. And then you get
Yeah.
mid-season.
Yeah, of course.
That
but,
happens.
hey.
Yeah, hey.
At least you get 2 points
I know.
before
It's worth
dying.
it. I'd be interested because this doesn't change punitive counter-strike
No, it
too,
doesn't.
which is good because that's on your own terms. I think also a really sneaky way to get this to fire is you do a whole bunch of mill or whatever you want, and then you play this, and then you play Hades Shard, and you use it instantly, and
Yeah,
then
For
boom.
10 credits.
Yeah, you don't have to
Also,
play
also
mill
you
back.
can sacrifice this in Artist Colony to survive the mid-season
Yeah,
coming.
it's 1 more agenda.
Oh yeah, you can.
It is.
Cool.
Point.
All right.
I just want to note that on the art, they're covering the back of their necks, which I believe is because in the Android universe, the clones have barcodes on the backs of their
Yep,
necks.
they're all barcoded.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We have a movement.
All right. Akshara Sharin. It is a resource, neutral resource connection. It says each player has 1 additional click to spend during his or her turn. Good corp card.
It's a great corp card.
This
Yep,
is the best
really
corp
good.
card.
It's going to let
Oh,
anyone fast
we're
advance.
still in the runner side.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
it's sometimes as the runner you need 5 clicks.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apocalypse
Have
comes
1
to
extra
mind.
quick to do something before you apocalypse.
Yeah.
So okay.
Don't apocalypse
Medium runs
on your 4th click, though, because you won't get that 5th click.
Yeah, exactly.
remember,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Axara Serene is unique. Worth noting. You can't build some weird
Nope.
degenerate corp gets 7 clicks or
Yeah.
6.
You could already do hyperdrives anyways.
You could. Okay, so anytime that you gain a click in Netrunner, the corp has a way to do it, and you have a way to do it now with this. Is that the turn that you play this, it's active, so you basically regain the click back.
Yeah. But you played 1 click to play it.
Exactly.
And then on the
then
corp,
the corp gets back.
gets 1 more click.
Now,
That's
why
1
is,
more seat, 1 more scorched earth. That's 1 more
Yeah.
advancement counter.
why is it bad to give the corp
There's
4
so
clicks?
many reasons.
There's a lot of reasons.
There's a lot of reasons.
There's a lot.
First one, they almost stopped printing agendas that are 3 advance, 2 points.
Yes.
But they're still in the meta.
Yeah.
Oh,
Everywhere.
they're everywhere.
They still
It's
exist.
core set. They're fine.
So this lets them fast advance in a deck that doesn't usually have fast advance.
Yep.
Yeah.
So unless you're playing Clot to stop them for scoring an agenda that is installed and score on the same turn, you're just giving them fast advance.
Yeah.
Which is bad. But that's not the only thing. Like if they have a mélange in their HQ, they can install it, res it, and use it. Wow.
Toy box. So
Wow.
that's Toy box.
Toy box? No one plays toy box, but if they
yeah.
are for fun,
Yeah.
now they can so you can help them toy box stuff.
I think the way this card is supposed to be used is
Mm-hmm.
you try to get the 5 clicks on your turn before the corp gets their 4 click turn. So ways you can do that are Artist Colony.
Yep.
You get her out, you have a 5 click turn. Supplier.
Street Peddler.
Street Peddler.
Street Peddler is the best.
Yeah, Da Vinci.
Actually, Da Vinci's
Supplier,
really good.
Da Vinci.
Supplier works as well.
It's a way to get extra clicks outside of Anarch,
Yeah.
too. And Anarch and Shaper kind of have that monopoly.
Yeah.
But you can put her potentially in a criminal with Supplier,
Yeah.
like you mentioned, to get a 5 click turn. That's
Yeah.
powerful. Also, she is an important character in the story, the lore that we're developing, the Mumbad Cycle.
Yeah.
They couldn't have given her a normal ability.
Yeah.
They had to give her something very strange that people have to really work hard to use.
Yeah, it's like,
And it's about all this equality and
Exactly.
freedom.
it's
So she's
super
actually
positive.
It's
yeah,
so
it is.
It's like everyone just do whatever you want to do, have fun.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
go.
yeah, and it's also the card that we've been most negative about so far.
It's weird.
Oof.
I don't know.
I don't know.
This could work with the same kind of pressure that you get from cards like Joshua B.
Yeah.
Where you throw it on the table and you tell the corp, yeah, maybe you can advance a 3-2.
Maybe I don't care.
Maybe I don't care because I'm going to keep
So
next
this
turn.
fits in the criminal mind, I think. I would
Maybe.
play her in my criminal decks where I run everywhere and just gaining one click is just one more access somewhere or maybe more credits to access somewhere.
Yeah.
So even if I enable them to score something, I make sure that they don't have that thing in their HQ. But giving one more click to Corp, even if it's not
crazy.
scoring, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
But okay,
They can put eyes down, they can gain credit, they can draw more cards. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if the only thing though is if you bring this to the table and you play it, the corp is going to like you,
Yeah.
You're gonna make
Maybe
friends.
you're just
which is really cool.
Yeah.
So maybe you play that and say, yeah, now you're not going to play your trash all resources.
Yeah, maybe you're trading.
Yeah, I don't know.
and they can now purge viruses and
Yeah, I
do
know.
something else.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
good.
that's oh.
You can install advance. You can fast advance and put.
Yeah,
a
there's so
CVS
many
down.
things.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a problem.
We have more idea for Corp than runners.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not good. But
Yeah.
it's a resource. It's a
Running
connection.
more?
That's
Running
fine.
more?
She hangs
Yeah,
out the
you draw a card.
apartments.
Okay, next card.
Next card we have another neutral resource connection. It is Councilman. It costs 0 put out. It says, whenever the corp reses an asset or upgrade, you may pay credits equal to its res cost and trash Councilman. If you do de-res that asset or upgrade, the corp cannot res it for the remainder of this turn. Bureaucracy and red tape have been weaponized.
So there's no trash icon, so it's not a paid ability.
It's a different
It's a
kind of
reaction.
ability.
It's a reaction. So it says
Incorrect.
whenever the corp reses.
So we were talking about with Political Operative how it can't stop Marcus Batty, it
Mm-hmm.
can't stop Jackson Howard,
Yeah.
but this one does.
Yeah.
Because it works differently.
Yeah,
than Political
and
Operative.
with political operative, if they res for say their Sansan on your turn, because they want to score and you have this on the table, and they know that on their turn if they res, you're just gonna de-res it, and they won't be able to fast advance.
But yeah, you're talking about the corp having. When you put this down, the corp has to change the way they play.
Yeah, they
all
just-
their cards.
If there's anything you want, you have to res it out of turn,
yeah,
which is cool.
Yeah,
And then-
especially when you have political
yeah,
operative.
they work so well together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because
It's
that's
so
the thing.
good.
It's like if you have a political operative and you have a councilman,
Yep.
they can't res a CVS.
Nope,
Yep.
They can't.
they can't.
You can't purge with a CVS.
Nope.
That seems really good. Like upgrades, just assets don't work. And the thing is, this usually this affects the res cost, not the trash cost.
Nope.
And a lot of the most annoying cards in Netrunner on the runner side
Cheap.
are the ones that are cheap to res,
Yeah.
hard to trash.
Yeah.
So things like, that's a DBS. Great. 4? You pay 2? You pay 1
Yeah.
in ETF?
Yeah.
But you just de-res it. So
stop it
by
for one
itself,
turn.
Yeah, I know.
you just stop it for one
So-
turn.
This works amusingly with Breaker Bay Grid.
Yes.
The corporation
Super
puts
cool.
it puts it down, reses something for free,
Actually-
which you de-res for free.
Yeah, but the weird thing
No.
about this is, like, you res an Eve, it gets 16
Oh, yeah,
credits
yeah,
on it.
that's
It
gonna
de-res
get
it,
bad.
then you res it again next turn. Now it has 32 credits
Yeah,
on it.
I
Oh,
know.
but
chill.
we dealt with that when a testing ground was really big in the meta.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
But
I've
that-
actually Muertos Adonis's back. So.
I love Councilman just for Jackson runs. Like you play noise, drop
Yeah.
this on the table before you access, and
sure.
they were greedy, so they kept their Jackson.
If you played at the beginning of your turn, then they don't have a chance.
Exactly, it's so much cheaper than unless they have two Jacksons out.
I didn't thought that's a great
No, you
point.
can't. It's unique.
Well, you can have them de-resed on the table.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
res
he
1,
res-
res
So they
two,
res
yeah,
one,
yeah.
you de-res it, they res the other one, but they're lucky, right?
Yeah, yeah, but still, that's a great point. Like
Yeah.
Noise can now make those runs where they're going to
With 0 credit.
Yeah,
So there was a tournament that you held at the Randolph Boutique the week of what's it called, Order and Chaos, and in that pack,
Cows?
no, Hades Shard, no, it was something like Hades Shard just came out, from what I understand.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And so many players were just bad hand, draw, throw away, and all I did is install Hades Shard, access, and then the corp would look at you, be
Yeah.
like, wait, but not gonna use Jackson. You say, no, not now, you know, and then you take the government takeover
Everything.
that came
Yeah.
out,
yeah.
and this will do that.
This will do that.
People are gonna get in weird situations where they think, oh, I'm just gonna res Jackson, and be like, no, I'm gonna pay nothing, and you're gonna de-res Jackson.
But at the same time, if you play this, they res Jackson, and like bait that there are
can
agendas
bait
in,
this away.
in archive.
Yeah,
They trash
It's another
Councilman.
high skill card. Like
Exactly.
Operative. You really have to be smart when you play it, and the Corp can be smart against you.
Yeah.
This does
Super
foil my
nice.
Lakshmi deck.
Oh no.
Oh, poor
sorry.
you.
That's a good deck.
Well, that's the last card.
Yeah.
Runner
That's
side.
This data pack, in terms of runners, is really going to matter. I think it's going to have a big impact on the meta. I think not all the cards, but I think there's some cards in here that definitely have a huge impact on the game.
sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Two of these cards are Jackson Howard level.
Yeah.
And with Desperado at one influence that you lose when you put
Having
it,
a new
the
console,
console
just
is
totally worthwhile.
nice.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Cool.
So thanks for watching. Do stay tuned. We have the corpse side of this pack, and there's some really ridiculous stuff in it.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
good.
Can't wait.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Ciao.